Welcome to the Lions Share. I'm your host, Mitch Lyons. This is the Lions on Lions version post Thanksgiving Giving Day game against Green Bay. This episode is always brought to you by MitchLyonsWealth.com. Check us out, MitchLyonsWealth.com, for your free book, free movie, newsletter sign up. Check us out. Well, where do we start? Thanksgiving Day game, huge game. NFC North, divisional rival, the Green Bay Packers, both battling for playoff position. Positioning in the NFC North, and it was a huge game. We knew coming in the Lions were down. Their starting center, Graham Glasgow, who's really not their starting center. It's Frank Ragnow, but he retired, but now he's unretiring, but he was not playing this game. And we're down two tight ends. Not only was Sam LaPorta out likely through the regular season at least, but now his replacement, Brock Wright, is out, which does not help the situation. So we were coming in with our third and fourth tight end. So we knew it was going to be stacked against us. And then early in the game, Amon-Ra St. Brown goes down. That doesn't help. So it is what it is. Everybody deals with injuries, and it's just something you got to figure out a way to get it done. I felt good about our defense coming off the Philly game. I thought our defense would play better. Love had not been playing that great. Jordan Love, Green Bay quarterback, had not been playing that great in the games preceding this. But as we always seem to do, and I'm not trying to be too negative here because it was just a frustrating day, so I'm going to work through the frustrating part first, and then I'm going to try to end on a little positivity. But we seem to make Jordan Love look like a Hall of Famer every time we play him, and yesterday was no different. 4 touchdown passes, just really frustrating. But let's go down the list here. Let's go back to the Amon-Ra injury. Tough break, gets rolled up and sprains his ankle. Hopefully not a long-term deal. It looks like it's going to be at least a week or two based on Dan Campbell's comments. But the reality of it is the Lions are 7-5 now on the outside looking in the playoffs. They've got to win 4 of their last 5 games, point blank. Anything less than that, they've got to go 4-1. Or else they're not going to be in the playoffs. And I started the year off saying, listen, I don't care if they have home field advantage. I just don't, because we've had that the last couple of years. It hasn't worked to our advantage anyway. And frankly, I think we almost play better on the road than we do at home, it seems. Most of our losses the last few years have been home games, not away games. So, but let's go back. The injury, Amon-Ra goes down. I thought Tom Kennedy, coming off the practice squad, I thought he had a good game, three catches, nice possession guy. Isaac Tesla gets another touchdown catch, another catch he had to make a nice diving catch on. He's going to have to step up. I mean, he was a 3rd-round pick. We gave up a lot of capital to get him, to move up to get him. So here's his opportunity, and this is what the NFL is all about. You never know when your chance is going to come, so you better stay ready. And this is Isaac Tesla's chance to move forward, and same with Kennedy for that matter. All right, our secondary. I felt like a lot of times. I mean, we got beat a couple times where we just flat out got beat. It happens. I thought a lot of times we had good coverage and they just made really good plays. But it all really stems from just not getting pressure on the quarterback, which we'll get back to later. But there was a couple controversial calls in the game. The first Green Bay touchdown, questionable. I mean, everybody was concerned about his feet. I thought his foot was down when he touched the ball. I think the question was, did he maintain control throughout the catch? I'm not sure that was 100%, but I'm also not sure it was distinct enough to overturn that call. So I didn't have that big a problem with that play. If it was the other way around and the Lions had that, I would have wanted the touchdown. Then we get later in the game, we get the 12-man. It's 4th and 7. They're going for it, and we get a 12-man penalty. Just inexcusable. Just absolutely just a backbreaker where you give them 5 yards to make it that much closer. And then it comes the call where they say Matt LaFleur called a timeout before they false started. Absolutely not true. Lions got totally railroaded on that one. That was a huge play in the game, no question about it. Can't sugarcoat that one. But then again, later in the game, we did get a non-call on a pass interference on 4th down for the Packers that was pretty clear that we held the guy's arm. So I'll let those cross each other out. But all right, let's get back to some of the play calling here, which was another frustration of mine. The 3rd and 4th down handoffs up the middle to Jahmyr Gibbs. I mean, Goff was playing really well, was on fire. I would have loved to just throw in the ball both plays if needed. Goff was on a heater, hadn't thrown a whole lot of interceptions, was getting the ball out. I would have liked our chances there. You go to the goal line play, further down the game where we have Montgomery and the Wildcat throwing to Ross Dwelly, the third tight end. I hate that call. I hate that call. It reminded me of last year's playoff game when you're putting the game in JMO's hand to throw a pass. He throws an interception. Listen, we have an all-pro quarterback. Let's let him throw the ball down in that situation. That is just not the place I want to put my second running back in throwing the ball. It's just that was super frustrating. I blame that's Dan Campbell. He's calling the plays. That's his call 100%. And then conversely, you look at it. Green Bay has to go for the fourth down at the end of the clinch it, and then they made it happen. I mean, they made a tough throw, tough catch, and it was great coverage by Branch, and they just came down with it. And tip of the cap there, they got the play, they made the play, we didn't, and they get the win. But let's go back to what I think the biggest issue is on this team. It is the absolute lack of a pass rush. We are getting no pressure on quarterbacks. Why does Jordan Love look like a Hall of Famer? Because he's got all day sitting back there in the pocket to decipher what the defense is giving him. And you look at Micah Parsons on Green Bay, big money guy, making plays, putting pressure on, 2.5 sacks. I mean, you always have to know where he is, and he's getting doubled every play. And we have Hutch, and I haven't heard from Hutch. I mean, he had an end of the game sack the other game against Philly, or not against Philly. I'm sorry, last week against the Giants. But where has he been, man? He is, and I know he's getting doubled, but man, all the top pass rushers in the league get doubled. He's got to make more of an impact than he's making. And it's just a simple fact. They need him to step up. He's got to make plays. And we're just not getting pressure. I mean, Marcus Davenport was back this game. I was hoping he would have somewhat of an impact on the other side. Didn't really see it. But at the end of the day, you've got to pressure quarterbacks because they are going to tear you up. Same thing with Jared Goff. If you pressure him, he's not nearly as good a quarterback. If you give him time, he's going to dice you up. And Jordan Love had his way with us, and it just is very frustrating at the lack of pressure. So, but listen, at this point, it is what it is. We're 7-5. We're on the outside looking in. Quite frankly, people are writing us off. And we're beat up. We've got guys out. And that's the NFL. Teams are going to have guys out. And here's our path to the playoffs. I really think it's still possible. We've got to go 4-1 without a doubt. But here's how I see that going down. All right, next week, Cowboys. You got to win it. If you don't win that game, you're out of luck. I don't see us getting to the playoffs if we don't beat Dallas. Now that's going to be a tall task because Dallas offense is more than likely going to destroy our defense again unless we get pressure. So Kelvin Shepard, Dan Campbell, you've got to come up with a scheme that's going to get pressure on Dak Prescott, or else George Pickens and CeeDee Lamb are going to absolutely destroy our secondary. I don't care how they do it. They've got to create it. And if we get that win against the Cowboys on Thursday night, I'm chalking up a loss to the Rams the following week. Okay. And then we're looking at Steelers home, Minnesota on the road, Chicago on the road. I think the Steelers are a team we should beat at home. Hopefully by that point, we would have Amon-Ra back. We're getting Frank Ragnow back, which is good. Kirby Joseph hopefully will be back by that Steelers game. If not this week. If he's back by the Cowboys, great, but I don't know if he's going to be. But if we can get those three back by that last 3-game run, if we've split the Cowboys-Rams, I don't see us beating the Rams. That's why I say and put so much emphasis on the Cowboys game. But, if we can split these next 2 games, we got to make a 3-game run at the end of the year. You got Steelers at home, Minnesota away, who are reeling a little bit. But, hey, J.J. McCarthy already beat us once, so I'm not saying it's a gimme. But we should be able to beat that team with our guys back. And then it comes down to that last game, Chicago. And, more than likely, I would think that may mean something for the Bears at that point. If not, maybe they're resting some guys, which would be, good luck for us. But that's going to be a tough game in Chicago. But Chicago is a good team, very good team, not a great team. I watched them against the Steelers last week in person. They've got some warts too, but they're making plays and they're winning games. They're doing the little things to get over the hump to win games, and that's what you got to do. But so that's the path. I think you somehow find a way to beat the Cowboys, and how I looked last night and we're 5.5-point favorites. I just don't see that. I just do not see it with what we're going to have. unless we get rush on the passer. But beat the Cowboys, lose at the Rams, and then go 3 straight. Steelers, Minnesota, Chicago. Is it likely? I don't think it's likely. Is it possible? Yes, it's very possible. But you don't have to win 4. You don't have to win 5 in a row or 4 out of 5. You need to win the next one, and it's all focus on Dallas. You got to come up with a scheme, Dan Campbell, Kelvin Shepard. You've got to win that game. Won't come heck or high water. Just got to happen. So, you know what? It is what it is. It's the NFL. It's. I hope everyone had a happy holiday with the Thanksgiving weekend. We've got a few days left of the Thanksgiving Day weekend, so I hope everyone enjoys that. But you Lions fans, hang in there, man. I know it's frustrating. I know there's a lot of negativity out there. We just have to find a way to beat the Cowboys. If we win 4 or 5 and we sneak in, nobody's going to want to play us. We are a strong team. We have a lot of talent. We have not played well this year. And there's such a fine line between winning and losing in the NFL. There just is. It's a play or two here and there. But if you can get that momentum going at the right time, and obviously if you win 4 or 5, and especially your last 3 straight, you're going to have some momentum coming into that playoff. So I'm hanging on to that. I'm trying to remain positive. I think this team could potentially still make a run. We've got to get some guys back. Getting Ragnow back at center will be huge. I'm hoping that could be as soon as this week. We'll see what they do. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. I would imagine he's got to be in there. I mean, especially if Glasgow's still out. But we'll see. I think all hands on deck for this one. Whoever can play, get out there and make it happen. So go Lions. And don't forget, check us out, MitchLyonsWealth.com. And appreciate it. If you like this analysis each week, hit like, subscribe, and I appreciate you listening. Take care. See ya.